Matt Ferdinandi asks me to describe how I understand the meaning of the term enterprise, which is a rather important term if we're talking about enterprise architecture. Well, to me, the enterprise is the context in which the organisation operates. In effect, it's a kind of story, a set of relationships, of interactions, of drivers, and that provides the space in which the organisation must behave, must agree to, must act within. The way I describe this is a kind of build, often described as a holomap because of the way it works, so it looks at a whole. We ask first, why does anything happen? And the short answer is that something happens because there's a tension between what we have and what we want. We then create our own services or our own means of reaching towards that goal. That also means that we can, in doing so, we can not only help others reach towards their goals, but others can help us reach towards ours. So that provides the first layer of service. The next layer out is what we might call the market. It's where our prospects live, it's where our competitors live. It's also where the regulators live, it's the journalists, the recruiters, the market specialists, the people who build the rules and regulations on which the organisation of the market itself runs. Beyond that, there's a much broader space, a kind of indirect interactions of communities that we live in, of the investors, the beneficiaries, the families of their employees, the families of customers, and so on. So there's a broader space all the way out. It's all held together as a kind of story. For example, by story I mean something like the tagline of TED, Technology, Entertainment, Design, which is ideas worth spreading. Everyone in that whole space is concerned in some way with ideas worth spreading. So one of the crucial things to understand is that for this purpose, organisation and enterprise are not the same things. They're two different entities or two different spaces that can coincide, but an organisation is bounded by rules, roles and responsibilities, whereas an enterprise is bounded by vision, by values and commitments. If we say that the organisation is the enterprise, then it's essentially talking to itself and thus has no reason to exist really as an organisation. So we need to have this broader space, and typically we say that we look at an enterprise that is 3 steps out from the organisation. The organisation itself, then its transaction space, its direct interaction space, and its indirect interaction space, all linked together by the same story. So when we build an architecture, an enterprise architecture, we build an architecture for an organisation, but it needs to be about the enterprise in which it operates. Otherwise it has no means to describe how it's operating or what the drivers are. So organisation and enterprise are not the same. It's really important that we don't mix them up.